First story. Still feel cheated today. My wife 34 and I 32 got married 14 years ago. We had known each other for several years in high school but weren't interested in each other. She graduated a year ahead of me and ended up dropping out of college and moving in with a guy. They were engaged and she got pregnant and he left. During that time she was having an affair with another guy. Now pregnant and alone, she went through a bit of a how phase, sleeping with several guys and a couple of girls. Then I came back around into her life. We started as friends but grew into more. At this point I had only had my first love and a one-night stand. We fell in love, and when the child was born, I was there and loved her as my own. I proposed and we were married a short time later. Once married, I was in school during the day and worked full-time at night to support us. During this time she developed some health conditions and her depression was way out of control. Sex was hit or miss for about the first year of marriage, but schedules weren't always aligned and I worked through it and it got better. Fast forward 3 years, and we are having an argument about me going to lunch with some females I worked with. 2 were as old as my mother and the other was a lesbian. I accused her of projecting a lot of stuff on me, accusing me of wrongdoing when I had done nothing wrong. At this point, I guess guilt got the better of her, and she admitted she had an affair with her old AP that started a few months after being married and lasted an entire year. I was crushed. She claimed to not remember a lot about that time as she had mostly blocked it out of her mind. However, it was several times a week at our house while I was at work. She claimed it was only on the couch and ottoman and never in our bed. She doesn't know if that caused her to deny my sex all of the time, but I know there were times she denied me a lot. She said she broke it off 3 years before I was told. She did say she was sexually satisfied currently and claimed I'm the only person to ever make her orgasm. She also said I had more girth than past partners, but the AP was bigger than me. I came home, and after several days we agreed to reconcile as I didn't want to throw away the good times. She was definitely in a different place with mental health and in life. And I didn't feel it was fair to punish the woman I love now for the woman she was then. Now we have been married 14 years. I still have a lot of insecurity about it and it gets on my mind, and I replay scenarios in my head over and over that I've never even seen. It severely affects my mental health. We are going to couples therapy now as we have both relived. We got a lot of stuff to work on. As much as it sickens me, sometimes I find myself looking at cheating or cuckold porn. Not that I want that to happen to me again with or without my knowledge. I feel so hurt and angry about the whole thing. I hate bringing it up at times because it makes my wife sad, or I find myself calling out an unfaithful spouse and saying terrible things about her, but I can see it stings her too. I don't know what I want or need. I just know I want to move past this in my life. I don't think she would ever cheat again, but I've also lived by tigers don't change their stripes. Especially when she isn't in the mood for sex lately. Being back in school herself brings back memories of that horrible time. As for the first time in a long time, my libido is higher than hers. Second story. My 42M wife 41F sent sexy selfie to male coworker. Should I confront her? As the title suggests, my 42M wife 41F sent a sexy selfie and flirty messages to a co-worker friend while out one night during a bachelorette party with friends. Should I confront my wife about these messages, or should I just let them go? Is there any context where these messages are appropriate in a healthy marriage? How excusable is this? Background context. There's a lot of background info about this situation that makes it problematic. I'm gonna try to bullet point the major points below. I appreciate anyone willing to read it all and provide some feedback. The message exchange happened nearly a year ago. I only found out by snooping through her iMessages on her computer recently. You'll see below why I was snooping and why my trust level isn't where it should be. She deleted these messages and the selfie image from her phone iMessages. knowing that she didn't want me to see them, but they remained in her iMessages on her computer. The picture is a selfie of her taken in an unusually sexy outfit for her she was wearing that night. She was out at a bachelorette party and took a bathroom mirror picture of herself and sent it to him late at night while at a club, like 10 p.m. She was not naked or anything like that, but it's a more revealing outfit than usual for her, and she was feeling sexy. Lots of cleavage and midriff etc. She then used the monkey emoji that is covering the eyes while sending that picture. Right after that, she also sent a message to him describing the strip club she was at with her friends and how scandalous the male strippers were at the event. I had no problem with her being at the strip club. It was something we discussed ahead of time. Her message referenced the way the stripper grabbed her by the ponytail etc. as an aggressive sexual move, and she liked it. These are not details she ever discussed with me. Again, I have no problem with her being at the strip club. My concern is only about what she is choosing to share with this guy and hide from me, and why. About 1 year ago, we had a very serious marital argument about the nature of her friendship with this specific coworker guy who I have never met. This selfie and the flirty messages took place about 1 month after that argument began. So she had every reason to know that any messages with him were going to be problematic and scrutinized at that time. I think this is what upsets me the most. Why did she send those messages at that time knowing how unstable our marriage was in that moment? In the days and weeks prior to her sending these flirty messages, we had already agreed that she wouldn't hide any more interaction with him. 1 year ago, I found out she was hiding a friendship with this guy from me. Basically, they would go running together after work and message each other a lot during the day and outside of work hours, and she hid it all from me for months through it all. She insisted they were merely friends and she never did anything wrong besides hide it from me. She agrees that was wrong entirely. There was never any proof that their relationship became a physical affair, though I believe strongly that it crossed several boundaries we have both since agreed were inappropriate, an emotional affair of sorts that she denies, but by any objective standard is clear. I do not believe their relationship ever became physical, but I believe it was heading in that direction. In the last year since the selfie and flirty messages, she has had very little contact or communication with this guy, primarily out of respect for our marriage and her desire to repair trust. If she is still seeing this guy or communicating with him, she's doing it in a way that I have been unable to monitor or find. I don't think she is. In the last year, we've made very specific efforts to repair our marriage and put that inappropriate friendship in the past. I believe her efforts to repair our relationship and trust have been sincere, and that situation is mostly in the past. My dilemma: her sending this image and flirty messages to him a month after our serious arguments began is really bothering me. She knew how upset I was about the situation, and how unstable our marriage was at that time. However, I do believe that inappropriate relationship is now over, and our marriage has been much improved over the last 10 months. I also only found these messages while snooping in a way that I don't feel good about. Should I bring this up and rekindle an old argument that feels like it's in the past? Or should I just let it go as a drunken message she probably regrets and never wanted me to see? Final note: we have been happily married for over 10 years and have 2 lovely kids together. This last year was the first real marital crisis of sorts. If you read this far, thank you. I appreciate your feedback. My wife sent inappropriate messages to a co-worker friend and I don't know how to respond. Update: I recently confronted my wife about the selfie and flirty messages she sent to her co-worker over a year ago. Thank you to everyone who provided meaningful replies with suggestions and insights. It was a productive and difficult conversation. She admitted to sending the messages that she previously deleted and lied to me about. She also admitted to some other more recent in-person interactions she had with this guy that she had hidden from me and lied about. She seems to be genuinely apologetic and remorseful and wants to restore trust, once again. I do believe this is the most she's ever been with me regarding the full nature of her relationship with this guy. That was necessary and helpful. She explains the selfie and flirty messages as a drunk mistake that she really regrets, and that's part of the reason why she promptly deleted them. Aside from the fact that she never wanted me to see them. Frankly, I agree with all that and I'm able to forgive all of that, but I am truly hurt by all of the lies, deception, and gaslighting over the last several months and I'm struggling with how to proceed. We had multiple arguments about her emotional affair with this guy over the last year, and even a year after the initial arguments, it became clear she was still secretly interacting with him and hiding it from me. I don't know the extent of those interactions, but I do believe her when she tells me they have never slept together and never had any physical interactions. I genuinely believe that to be true, and I don't have any evidence pointing otherwise. She hasn't seen him or really talked to him since May, so I know anyway. She revealed that she basically had a crush on the guy, but has since moved past it and is really sorry that she ever did any of the things she did to entertain that fantasy. I know that she wants to fight for marriage and make things better, but I'm also struggling because we've had the same type of argument multiple times before. The thing I'm really struggling with is the fact that there have been multiple times when I've called her out for hiding things from me about her interactions with him, and in those moments she would come only partially clean about those interactions, only for me to point out additional lies and hiding later. When I ask her why she continues to do the lying and hiding even though we said that was the most important thing to stop doing, she said she was afraid I would leave her if I knew what she was doing. When I told her why is that not enough for her to stop doing the things in the first place, her response was, I knew that what I was doing was not actually wrong. I.e., getting lunch with this guy. I was never going to cross any cheating type boundaries with him. The thing is, the number one thing she was promising to do to restore trust in our marriage was avoid all unnecessary interactions with this guy. Turns out she didn't do that. So I'm stuck with trying to figure out what my next move is. I feel deeply disrespected, betrayed, and my trust is fundamentally broken with her right now. I've told her all of this. It's happened too many times over the last year. And while she may not have actually had sex with this guy and cheated on me with him, I don't have any reason to believe she would ever tell me if she did. She would take it to her grave. But I do earnestly believe her when she says she didn't, for now at least. There is a lot of room for me to be forgiving in all of this. I'm capable of it. But I just don't know how long I can live with the lies, deception, and broken trust. It's stressful and affecting my mental health. It's also affecting my ability to be effective at my job and effective as a father. Right now it's all too raw, so I don't know what my next move is going to be. Most likely we are going to work it out together. Things had been improving over the last 2 months, so there's room to believe we can get there again if we try. It's just really exhausting to keep starting over with trust like this so often. How do I make clear to my wife that the lies and deception can't continue? I hate threatening divorce, but I don't know any other way to make it clear to her how harmful it is. What other solutions or remedies do you have for a situation like this? Third story. She cheated with a co-worker, and she made me feel crazy for raising suspicions. 1 month ago, my girlfriend, 5 years together, we own a house together, told me she does not really like our relationship anymore. She told me it became stale and she doesn't feel desired anymore. She told me she doesn't know if we would be together forever anymore. While I agreed that the relationship was not as fun anymore, I still think that we were fine. A week later, she told me that she had developed a work crush in the last months. Let's call him Kevin. She told me that nothing ever happened. She told me about a conversation they had after work where he told him that there is something between them and that it needs to stop. I asked my girlfriend to stop seeking contact with Kevin, except for professional work-related tasks. In the weeks after, she promised me that everything was over after that conversation with Kevin. The feelings had stopped. I believed her. However, of course I kept asking her if they still had contact. She assured me that that was not the case. These questions from me really annoyed her. She told me that if I keep asking these questions our relationship cannot really improve. We had Find My Friends on our iPhones, where we can see each other's locations. I know many people's opinion on that, but that doesn't matter. On one night, after her work, she stopped sharing her location. I asked her about this, and she told me it must have been her internet connection. I doubted that, since the messages I had sent her still went through. I must have asked 100 times what happened that night, but she said nothing happened. In the next days I was really feeling paranoid. She found this very annoying. I told her I was just not trusting her fully anymore. She said that nothing weird was happening anymore. I was starting to doubt myself. I must be crazy for suspecting her. 2 days ago, she was crying. I asked what was up and she told me that she had kissed Kevin the day before, in the office when everyone on her floor had left. Note that this was a different day than the day she put her Find My Friends location off. She apologized so many times. She assured me that this was the first time that something like this had happened. She said that she has not ever even touched him before that moment. She promises me that they never had sex. She also confessed that they had sought contact with each other, even though she had promised not to do that anymore. Apparently they have had phone calls after work in their cars when driving home. Afterwards she has deleted these calls from her call history. Keep in mind that I had asked many times if they still had contact, and it always made her annoyed on me. I then asked her what happened at night when she put her location off. She assured me that that was really not the case, and nothing happened. She told me that she now really has told me everything. Yesterday she came out and said that was also a lie. She had a long conversation on the parking lot on the phone with him. She put her location off as not to cause suspicion in me. But the worst part is that she made me feel like I'm crazy. Like I was seeing things that were not there. That she got angry when I told her my suspicions. She got angry when I kept asking if she had still seen him. Yes, she told me directly when she had kissed him. However, there has been a lot of drip feeding the truth afterwards. She promises me now that everything is on the table, but I don't know if I can believe her anymore. Of course, she now wants to fix everything. She says we can fix it together. She's really sorry and promised not to talk to him anymore. Kevin is going to a different work location after next week, and they will not be working together anymore. She assured me she really regrets it and is crying about what she's done to me. At the same time, she's also saying this might not have happened if I would have made her feel more desired. I'm doubting what to do. She wants to know if I still want to be with her. I cannot tell her. My mind says I should leave, but I don't want to. I told her I cannot decide this right now, I will only know after a while. Moreover, we own a house together. She has a lot of own equity in the house, around 50%, and the other 50% is our mortgage. I feel like I will get financially gutted by quitting this relationship. I need some outside views on this. I never thought I would experience anything like this. I'm really devastated. My girlfriend kissed a coworker in the office. I had suspicions for a while, but she got mad when I raised those. Now all these suspicions seem to be true. They did not have sex. We own a house together. We are leaving for vacation next week. Update. After what happened, she was really sorry. She cried so much. Sadly, I'm not a tough person. I was very angry. But seeing her sad and asking me if we can still try to fix things worked on me. We tried for another month. We went on vacation and that was fine. However, when we came home and we started going to work again, all my doubts came up. She wasn't willing to change. Work is very important for her, so she didn't want to skip any informal work events where Kevin would also be. You guys were alright, of course. All trust is gone, and I feel hurt. mostly about the lying and gaslighting. I doubt everyone she is saying to me. I realized that this was not going to work. I broke up with her 2 days ago. It's so crazy hard. We were together for 5 years. I broke up at night. I went to my parents' house the day after that where I'm now. They are taking very good care of me luckily. I also talked to a friend about the situation. I have not talked with anyone about all this stuff since it started happening around 2 months ago, and that drained me mentally. It's nice to be able to talk finally, and have some supportive people around me. The morning after I broke up we were crying and cuddling, and it makes it so hard for me. We were cuddling, and she asked, "Could you really miss this?" And of course I can't miss it. I'm so attached to her. But I have to. I know that she's going to ask if I want to come back and try it again. Saying no to that question will be terribly hard, because I want to. I want to cuddle, be together without pets in our amazing house. But inside I know it's never going to work anymore. It needs to end. That's why I really don't want to talk anymore. I don't want to say no to her, because it will hurt so much. The heart versus the mind. We haven't talked anymore. We own a house together, and the inevitable moment is coming up where we need to sit down and discuss what's going to happen. She is probably going to buy me out of the house. We have lots of stuff together, which we need to split. Financially it will really suck for me, but my happiness is more important. I'm not looking forward to the next few weeks at all. I really don't want to talk with her anymore. I want everything to be fixed right now. It hurts so much. Frown. Also, I need to start looking for a place to rent, since my parents' place is too far from my job. We agreed that we will have the talk in a few days. Probably her parents are going to be involved, since they know the agreements that we made the best. I will make sure my father helps me as well, since her parents will choose her side of course. I'm hopeful we will do it nicely, no fighting. Thanks for all the advice on my last post. 3. Just wanted to write this update down, also for myself. I need to keep reminding myself why I broke up. At this point, my mind tries to remember all the nice things about us. But it wasn't so nice at all. It has been terrible lately. Forgot to mention that Kevin and his girlfriend also broke up. My ex overheard this from a colleague, or from himself. You see how distrusting she made me?